This is the chocolate powder that I use. It just happens to be vegan, I think. It's mostly just like sugar and cocoa powder. I'm okay with that. I just put a little bit on top of my coffee. Yay! Nick's laughing at me saying I think. It's just because you know when you're like, yes, I know this is vegan, but then you're like, doubt yourself. Do you ever do that?
All the time.
Yeah. I mean, we had Dole Whip at, like, non-vegan Dole Whip at Disney World because we just didn't, I just googled it and I was like, oh, Dole Whip's vegan. This tastes really good. It was not vegan, that one. Lesson learned. Okay, coffee done. Best way to start the day. Let me know if you agree. So this is my little office, by the way, just in case you haven't seen. This is where like I film YouTube videos and stuff. My desk, I pull it around here so that I've got the light when I do like calls. I've got some calls coming up. And what I've started to do is put post-it notes as reminders of the wins that I make each week. So I've got a call right now with one of our amazing members inside of Lean Plants because we have a coaching program now which is going amazing and it's really cool. So I'm gonna go do that, stand up at my standing desk and drink my coffee. Okay, so it is very close to 12 now, so I've just been like really busy working. So we're gonna make a bit of a smoothie.
Oh, sorry, was I included in that?
Yeah, so you've been pestering me to make a smoothie. Can we do that? Family photo! Alright, let's make some smoothie.
Good.
Yeah, we need more than that. For 3 people. Okay, so we keep our blender in here so that it's not so loud and doesn't take up space in our pantry. Okay. Yes, you can turn that on and then press that one. Okay, this looks so good.
Yeah.
Look at that. I don't know if it's like showing up, but anyway. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. Let's make some smoothie bowls.
Yeah, let's make some tootie poles.
I'm not doing that on the internet. So the strategy I found most helpful for prepping is to simply replenish things when they get low. So you can see that our banana thing was getting low. We had some ripe bananas, so I dedicated that to my little helper. But Morgie, don't put the bananas in there. Yucky. Don't want to have the banana butt. That part, yeah. Not nice. Did you just call me banana?
Yes.
Rude. Yummy.
Satan's in these dogs.
Nick made some seitan yesterday. Come here, so you're in the frame. So we had sushi bowls, and you made seitan, which is like, it's still the weirdest thing. I have not had it very much, but it was actually really good.
It was pretty good.
It tasted good, and he kind of cut it up, or I cut it up into little strips after he cooked it, and it was a very nice addition to our smoothie bowls. Oh, sushi bowls, not smoothie bowls. But yeah, this is what lunch looks like. I don't know if this is lunch or breakfast. I will probably eat more later on, but yeah, my appetite is just not really there at the moment. But
Mom, come on.
there we go. Looks good. Go. Should we go sit outside?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. Go.
Now we're sitting outside.
Nice.
Sitting chilling outside in our little deck, our favourite place to sit. It's out here, it's very bright.
Yeah, now you're letting me take a picture.
Good? Okay, I've been working away. It's now nearly 3. Nick's gone to pick up Riley. I'm someone who gets like very hyper focused on things when I'm working on it. So sometimes not that I forget to eat, I definitely don't, but I put it off because I'm like, oh, I'll eat later, I'll just finish this. Like I won't even go to the toilet. I'll just like be holding it, which is not good. I know that's busting. So I'm gonna make up my lunch now, even though it's late. So my mum made up some soup for us the other day, so I'm gonna warm up this, and that's gonna be lunch. I'm super excited for this. Can't really tell, but it looks really, really good. My mum made us tons of non-starchy veg. Got my avo on there. Oh, flipping good. Chickpeas, kale. It's a wizard.
Yeah, look.
That's my soup.
Oh.
Yum. Right, so because I'm doing a what I eat in the day video, which tend to be people's favorite kind of videos because it's kind of like a back look at what's happening behind the scenes, fly on the wall. I want to put a few caveats and I want to explain kind of what's going on with me personally and what I've been eating recently. I'm eating animal products. No, I'm not. That's not going to happen. But my eating has changed a little bit. I want to explain this so that you can understand what things to take that you've seen and apply to your own journey and your own life and what things to leave. First of all, my eating has changed over the past couple of months because I am much less hungry than I've been. My appetite has massively decreased. There's a lot of days where I don't really feel like eating much, and you've probably seen this reflected in my behavior today because I'm taking some medication that it's just massively dropped my appetite. I don't like feeling full like I did before, and I actually feel kind of sick. Well, not so much sick, but I do have like a tiny bit of nausea, which also makes me not really wanting to be eating. I'm definitely not pregnant, not something that's really possible for us, so it's not anything pregnancy related or anything. So with that, I'm definitely honouring that, but that is not how I've eaten for most of my weight loss journey. And while I do enjoy that I'm not really thinking about food as much, I'm not having as many cravings or anything like that, food is not on my mind in the way that it normally is. I think it's very easy to look at how I've eaten and think, well, I just need to eat less because she's not eating like these huge portions of food, which I have done in the past. And I always thought that eating small portions was a sign of a high amount of willpower, of dedication. I saw it as a badge of honor, and it is not. Going hungry, feeling deprived, and eating small portions is not a badge of honor. For most people, it is a recipe for disaster, and one of the best things that you can do if you want to increase your consistency with your diet, and that means not falling off on the weekends, not having those big cheat days that turn into cheat weeks and months, not having binges and late night snacking that then goes on and ends up derailing your diet and your progress. If you want to get more consistent, then one of the best things you can do is actually up the amount of food that you're eating, of the right kind of things like vegetables and potatoes, because that's going to help you to actually lower your overall calories because you don't have these big blips, you don't have these big spikes in terms of your calories that you're consuming that are coming from processed foods. Because processed foods, and when we give up on our diet, that's where our biggest calorie, I call them objectives come from. So if we can kind of flatline a bit better by eating more food, we're going to see better results. So partly because my appetite has changed, I am now eating slightly higher calorie foods. So I'm still eating very similar foods, but I'm adding higher calorie elements, because I'm eating less. So I'm eating more bread. You saw that I had some cereal type stuff on top of a small smoothie bowl. I had some peanut butter in there. Those are things that I wouldn't have done as much in the past because they bump up the calories really high. None of these foods are bad, but they're not ideal weight loss foods, like especially cereals and a ton of peanut butter, really, and bread. Those things are not amazing things to choose when you're trying to lose weight because they're just simply high in calories and they don't have a lot of volume there to help you to feel full and satisfied. Because I'm not looking for volume and fullness right now, I'm eating more of those foods. The last thing that I want to point out is that I am not in a weight loss phase. I am currently maintaining my weight. I'm not actively trying to lose weight. I'm trying to build muscle and endurance and just get by at the moment, to be honest. And so the foods that I'm eating, I'm not intentionally needing to lower my calories to try and get into that zone. So the way that I'm eating is a little bit different than what I was when I was actively trying to lose weight. Now here's the biggest caveat with that is that I'm still eating the foods that I did. I'm still eating vegetables. I'm still eating tons of potatoes. I still don't cook without oil. I've actually got a few key habits that no matter what I'm doing, maintenance, weight loss, whether I have a cookie that day, whether I work out, whatever it is that I do consistently that have helped me to lose the 40 pounds and then actually keep them off. And I'm going to talk about that in a moment. And these are the things that if you do them and you do them consistently, you will see results. So they're the things to focus on. Before we get there, I just want to say one final thing, and that is that there is no one size fits all approach or right path when it comes to losing weight. It's very easy to think that if you just eat like someone else, then you're going to see their results, and that is simply not the case. Weight loss is always a result of a calorie deficit, and that means that you are eating less calories than your body is burning. So if you are not losing weight, you are not in a calorie deficit, period. If you are gaining weight, you are eating more calories than you need. You are in a calorie surplus. If you see someone who is losing weight, it is because they are in a calorie deficit. Just because they eat that way and that way of eating allows them to get into a calorie deficit because it is less than what they burn, does not mean that that is the same for you. So while things like what I eat in a day and the principles behind that, like eating veggies and no oil and all of those kind of things, while it's helpful for inspiration, please see this as just an example of what one person has done in order to lower their calories, not something that is a guidebook for you to follow. And when people do things like what I eat in a day, you're seeing pretty much a perfect snapshot of their lives because they're filming a video and they're more conscious and they have to put that on camera. Really, I wanted this video to be realistic. I wanted you to see that I drink coffee, I'm eating some higher calorie foods, and I'm really not eating that much at the moment because that's the truth. And that's the honest to goodness facts of the matter. I'm currently at the lowest weight that I've been in a very long time, like a few years at least. And it is not because my habits are amazing. They're okay, they're fine, but it is not because of anything intentional, apart from the fact that I just don't really feel like eating. Here's the thing. Once I stop this medication, once my habits go back to normal, and once my appetite returns, it is very likely that my weight is going to go slightly back up again. Because that is a normal response to a change in my environment. So don't see anything that I'm doing now as something that you have to copy. It's just what's happened because of circumstance. And I hope that you understand that. Now, here are the things. I'm going to talk about 3 that no matter what you're doing, no matter what stage, these are principles that everyone can be applying in order to help them lose weight. And these are things that I do every single day to help me maintain my weight loss. Rule number 1, it is not a rule, but it is number 1, is to stop cooking with oil. Oil is the highest calorie food on the planet. It is going to have a major effect on your overall calories if you stop cooking with it, stop using it in salad dressings, stop using it when you're creating or cooking pancakes, stop eating it when you go out to eat in terms of chips or any kind of deep fried food, because of it being so incredibly calorie dense, a few tablespoons adds up to hundreds of calories. So if you remember that we've got to lower calories in order to start to get into that deficit, to just eat away at those stored fat cells because our bodies are not getting enough from the food we're eating, the best and easiest place you can do this is from the calories that don't contribute to your fullness or your enjoyment anyway. Yeah, okay, fine. Chips do contribute to your enjoyment, but they're not worth it if you're trying to lose weight because they add so much for so little. So the biggest habit and the biggest takeaway that changed things for me was stopping cooking with oil. I water saute, I cook things with baking paper, I use my air fryer a lot, and I don't even need to use oil. And I personally am fine with non-stick pans as well. I know some people are not at the moment. That seems to be like the research supports that, but you're welcome to use whatever works for you. The second thing is that I weigh myself every single day. And it's not because I'm obsessed with the number on the scales. It's just because that is data and that is a habit that has been shown through a lot of research actually helps people to maintain their weight. And here's the thing, I want to ask you a question and let me know in the comments if you've experienced this. I have never in my life met someone who has gained weight, kept gaining, and continued to daily weigh. We daily weigh when we want to see results, and when we don't, we start to drop that habit because we don't like what we see. When you have that daily weighing as just a habit that you do, it is a short-term measure. When I say short-term, I mean a couple of weeks. You're going to start to see and have that measure that your habits are slipping, even if you don't notice, because you will start to see those scales trending up. And that's a really, really good way to actually go, hey, if I don't change something in my habits, that trajectory is going to change. On a day-to-day basis, you're not going to see much change on the scales. You're going to see, maybe you see more change than you want. You're going to see big dips, you're going to see big highs. If you're trying to lose weight, expect that your thing is going to look like this, like your measurements. The day-to-day is kind of irrelevant. And when you daily weigh, you start to learn your own fluctuations, which is also really cool, and it's exciting to kind of just see, hey, like this is just data. I'm on my period, or I ate a lot of salt, or I worked out and my muscles are a bit more inflamed, and like, oh, the weight's gone up, oh, my weight's gone down. Like, that's just fascinating, it's interesting. But it has been shown that is incredibly helpful for weight maintenance. We do this in our program, and there's no evidence. There's a lot of studies that have been done to try and see as well, because you'd think that this would be triggering, you'd think that it would be something that may be detrimental. There's no evidence that it is, so that's also another point with daily weighing. The third thing that I do is that I cook and eat with a ton of vegetables. So what I find is that, I mean, the veggie eating habit, this is the biggest one. If you're trying to lose weight, then the more veggies that you can be eating, the better. The more potatoes, because as well, like they're just super low in calories. But veggies specifically, we say just aim for about like 1 to 2 pounds a day, and if you're doing that consistently, you will start seeing results. That's what we do with our clients inside of the Leaner Plants coaching program. But what I tend to find is that when I'm eating less, I don't eat as many veggies as a side or as a snack because I'm simply not looking for that volume. But I always cook my recipes with a ton of veggies. The soup that I ate had tons of non-starchy vegetables in there in the form of tomatoes, ginger, onions, carrot, so much good stuff in there, capsicum. And the meals that I make, they all have a ton of veggies. I'm putting lots of broccoli, I'm putting lots of mushroom and celery or whatever else I have, frozen veggies, in order to bulk out my meals. That I'm not just cooking with rice and tofu and then adding a piddly little bit of cucumber on the side like I used to. And if you can get into the habit of asking yourself when you're cooking, when you're throwing things together, how many veggies can I add to this? And seeing that as a challenge almost of how many you can shove into something that you're cooking and you're creating and bulk it out with vegetables, then that meal becomes much, much lower in calories per forkful, which means it's going to be easier for you to get into a calorie deficit. And this is, I think, the most pivotal habit that I've created that has allowed me to maintain my weight even in times when I'm not intentionally eating as many vegetables, because I'm always eating them anyway, because everything I eat just has vegetables. But I also wanted to say as well that I do have a free mini course that goes very much in depth into how to get into a weight loss zone, how to build weight loss meals, how to build weight loss principles, and know what kind of frameworks to follow. It's everything that I needed to know at the beginning of my journey, and I would have loved to know 10 years ago when I started to try and lose weight, and that we've had, I think like over 9,000 people have gone through that free mini course now. So it's good. It's good. I made it as best I could. And I thought, hey, if I could make something that was free, that was better than all the paid things that people had done in terms of weight loss so far, apart from my program, of course, because yeah, then this is what I wanted to create. So go and check that out. Have a look. I know that it's going to be helpful for you. Hopefully this has given you a little bit of insight into my day and things that will be helpful for you in your journey as well. So just about to make dinner. Nick has already started.
I'm hungry.
He's hungry. So we have this thing where we thought, okay, the hardest part of cooking is the decision making and also cooking the starchy part. So either like rice, potatoes, what else? Pasta?
Yes.
Rice, potatoes, pasta. So we decided that we just choose what days of the week we're going to do either rice, potatoes or pasta. Like Mondays, like potatoes, right? Tuesdays, rice. Wednesdays, potatoes. What was the other ones? Thursday, rice. Friday, pasta. And so Nick would start that, and then that gives me enough of a framework to go, well, this is the kind of pasta we'll have because we've got broccoli or we've got courgette, or I'll make something with capsicum, and it gives like a confinement, it gives a box, but makes it feel much more free for me because I just come in and I'm like, oh, I just got to make a decision, and it's just much easier. And I'm always like obsessed with work. Yeah. And a bit of a workaholic, so it means that, hey, it means that stuff actually gets done because it gets started and I have to come out and cook. So, gonna make a bit of a creamy broccoli and courgette pasta. So walk me through what you've done so far. What's this? Onions.
What's that? Onions, garlic, some green capsicum. And
just pasta?
Just pasta,
Oh, capers. And because it's New Zealand, we have a kettle because we drink tea here. And so I'll just add a bit of water. Good. Ready?
Feels ready.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm also going to put this in. There. Yeah, as you can see, I've got a ton of veggies in here. This is just how I cook a lot of veg. And I'm also going to put one of these for some flavour. Riley, how many bananas did you eat?
3.
What? Why?
Hungry.
What are you drawing?
Man.
Who is he?
I know.
What about you?
Some arrangements for Rye's birthday.
Cool.
And it's going to be a pirate party. I love pirates.
You do. I'm not a precise cooker. People ask me for recipes all the time and I'm like, put a little bit of this, put a little bit of that, hope and pray, and then totally wing it and then add salt later if it needs it. So yeah, I'm gonna pour this in here. Tastes good.
Need some of my seitan. There's seitan in this pasta.
Yeah. Nick also is going to start a YouTube channel, and it's all about how to be disabled. And Nick.
Very disabling.
How to have MS.
How to live with chows.
this is dinner. It looks pretty good. Pretty good. Ready?
Yes.
I'm not. I'm
Mom,
not.
get
We
ready,
haven't said
'cause-
prayer.
We will. Pepper. So I added more of the vegetables that were in the pan to my meal so that I've got like a lower calorie dense meal, and then obviously put the broccoli on the side as well.
As good as you.
Next favourite meal, creamy pasta.
I found.
So I'm gonna drink my tea now. Just got some oat milk in my tea. Yum. And I've got a little Anzac biscuit that our Countdown sells. If you know in New Zealand, you might not want to know this, but Countdown, the Anzac biscuits at Countdown happen to be vegan, so it's handy. We like to put them in our school lunches, but this is dessert. I'm gonna go and enjoy this, hang out with Nick. I'll see you next week in another video. Hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know if you've got any questions or anything that you want covered in upcoming videos, and we'll do this again. Alright, that's it. Bye.